Greetings, my name is BlazeLeeDragon, and welcome to Walking the Druid's Path, the video series that's dedicated to bringing modern Druidry to individuals like yourself so that you can apply it to your own spiritual path. Druidry is about reconnecting with the earth and seeing the sacredness that is part of all life in the universe. It is something that is called to us from our distant past, and the ancient Druids and their teachings may be gone, but a revival movement was started over 400 years ago to try to bring back these ways of connecting with the earth. A lot of us feel this call and this pull. The earth is our home, it's where we live. A lot of us want to connect with it again. This video itself is going to focus around the Druid's Prayer, more commonly known as the Druid's Prayer. The Druid's Prayer was actually written down in a book by an individual by the name of Edward Williams, who was born in 1747 and passed away in 1826. He was more widely known by his Druidic name, which was Iolo Morganlug. Now, Iolo was a Welsh poet, but he also was a forger. He tried his best to try to kickstart the revival movement, and a lot of what we have in modern neo-Druidry, we can kind of tip our hats to him and thank him for getting the movement started. He did a lot of things to try to get people in the public aware of the Druid revival movement and get them to try to participate and help with it. So he took anything he could find and he published it, but he also tried to invent and fill in some of the gaps. So some of the materials that he wrote are from the ancient Druids, and some of them are things that he filled in the pieces on based upon his study and his understanding, or just his personal preferences, such as the Druid's Prayer. Now, he wrote this down in a 2-volume book, which is known as the Bardos. We could actually spend an entire video talking about Iolo, some of the things that he wrote and some of the philosophies that he believed in, and we may save that for a future video. For right now, however, I just want to bring him up for the simple fact that we're going to be talking about one of the prayers he had written down, regardless of what its source may or may not be. Now, of course, as we had mentioned, he was Welsh, and of course he was also referred to as Iolo of Glamorgan, which is now called Morganlug, which is why we call him Iolo Morganlug. Typically, though, he will usually just be referred to as Iolo or Edward Williams. When he was alive, of course, besides for writing down many things, both true and potential as forgeries, there was, of course, the Bardos. The Bardos had 2 volumes. Volume 1 was written in 1862, and Volume 2 was written in 1874. Today we can find reprints of these that have, of course, been translated into whatever native language you may speak, and they usually, I believe, show up as a single volume now. Now, again, this book itself could make its own video. One of the items inside of this, though, was, of course, the Druid's Prayer, or as we commonly call it, the Druid's Prayer. In case it is not painfully obvious by the way I butchered his name, I don't know how to speak Welsh, so I'm not going to attempt to read the Welsh version of these prayers. Instead, I'm going to read to you the English translations. God, impart thy strength, and in strength power to suffer, and to suffer for the truth, and in the truth all light, and in light Gwynvid, and in Gwynvid love, and in love God, and in God all goodness. Version 2. Grant God thy protection, and in protection reason, and in reason light, and in light truth, and in truth justice, and in justice love, and in love the love of God, and in the love of God Gwynvid, God and all goodness. Version 3 is the one that is most commonly associated with Obod, order of bards, ovates, and druids. It's also the one that I usually hear. Version 1 and Version 2 are actually versions I had to look up, but this one was actually presented to me. Grant, O Great Spirit, Goddess, God, Holy Ones, thy protection. And in protection, strength. And in strength, understanding. And in understanding, knowledge. And in knowledge, the knowledge of justice, and in the knowledge of justice, the love of it, and in that love, the love of all of existences, and in the love of all of existences,
the love of Great Spirit, Goddess, God, Holy Ones, the Earth our Mother, and all goodness.
The one word that goes across all the versions of the Druid's Prayer is love. Love is a very powerful force. It can move men to do great things as well as terrible things all in its name. But it's a very, very key point in all of these versions, which I think is interesting to point out. Also, you'll notice that there are other ones that are pretty common, such as protection, strength, knowledge, understanding. When reaching out to the divine, we are trying to think of ways of strengthening ourselves when we say this prayer. We are trying to think of ways to make ourselves a better individual, and it's interesting that these are some of the key points and principles. Having more love, having more knowledge, having protection and understanding and wisdom and truth, these principles are important to us as individuals. So not only can you take this prayer and again, fill in the name that you wish. If you believe in one God, that's fine. If you don't believe in any deity and you just believe in the universe, you can fill that in as well. It's almost a way of communicating with your higher self. So if you don't believe in deities, your higher self is your awareness, that piece of you that says, maybe I shouldn't do that, or that's wrong. There's something inside of us that just knows what is right, what is wrong. And of course, this can be influenced by our upbringing, but still, when we're making decisions, we kind of listen to our instincts and our feelings about a matter. That's our higher self. So even if you are not praying to a divinity, a specific god or goddess or the Great Spirit or whatever, you can still pray and focus your thoughts to yourself, bringing about your own mind to try to bring the best of you that you can become and better in this world and your interactions with other individuals. So regardless of the path that you follow, the Gweddi'r Orsed's prayer could apply to you, and it's something that you could incorporate into your daily life. How often should you say it? That's completely up to you. Some individuals will use this prayer before they do a ritual. Now, when I'm talking about ritual, I'm specifically referring to, in this instance, the Wheel of the Year, acknowledging the seasonal festivals, the sabbats, the sabbats, the equinoxes, the solstices, the major holidays that are basically celebrating life, the way the earth turns, the way the seasons change. It's part of our tradition and heritage. Regardless of what path you follow, humans have celebrated the seasons, and they do it under many different names and many different traditions, but they're celebrating life itself. So you could incorporate this into your traditions. If you do Samhain, if you do Yule, or maybe you do Christmas or Hanukkah, you could say this prayer. You could also say this prayer maybe every day when you wake up or before you go to sleep, something to reaffirm to ourselves and to ask what we personally believe in by any name. Let's be better people. Let's have more strength, knowledge, understanding, love, wisdom. Let's protect ourselves and protect those around us. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, leave your comments below. What are your thoughts when it comes to the Druid's Prayer? Is this something that you would use? Is this something you have no interest in? What do you think is your interpretation? What does it mean? Also, please remember to thumb up, like, and subscribe, because more videos are coming your way. I'm BlazeLeeDragon. Thank you for watching.